What's up, my loves and fellow creatives? I have a special request right now, so I figured I would let you all see what I'm working on since I don't go live that much anymore. So I'm actually working on some projects at the moment that you all get a chance to see me kind of play with as I go. And I'm also using I'm gonna figure out. I think I'm gonna call it like tile magic or something. Help me come up with a name for this template creator. I'm doing the 2x, the XL and 2x version right now. I showed you all the small, adult small to large that uses 4 pages. Now I'm maximizing to do a 2x using 6 pages. So extra large and 2x using 6 pages. And then I'm going to do a 3x, 4x, and 5x on that will be an 8-page setup. So I will do that next, and I'll do the youth sizes, and we'll go ahead and do the infant and toddler sizes as well, because I've gotten a lot of feedback and requests on these easy towel magic. I'm thinking something marketable. I need y'all's help because I'm thinking too much on how to make it work and not necessarily a cool name to name it. So what would you all like to see the name? This is definitely for all overs. Basically what it does is it allows you to design one time, drop the file in, and it will automatically tile everything for you. So all you have to do is export those tiles and print each one as a JPEG. And then that way, if you mess up one of them, you can go back and just print that one JPEG. All right, there's my love. Hey, babe. So, Andrea, this is, I'm trying to work with the files you gave me to do your design. It's a little difficult because they aren't PNGs. They are, and these are, this design here is not my design. I was pulling in some elements for a template that I'm working on, and I'll release that one sometime soon. Lord knows I'll be trying. I had a design pretty much ready for almost a month now. That's just how I roll. Y'all know me. So I'm going to go ahead and, no, I don't think I need to save that. So what I'm doing is just bringing in some elements from that design so that we can kind of create a new look here. However, this design has a background already in it. I'm going to go ahead and disable this layer mask, and you'll see it's got a little square in here, but I'm about to work with it. So I'm going to delete that layer mask and go ahead and make a new one real quick. And I'm just kind of eating away at this existing design just a little bit, so I don't have a really hard edge there. And I'm going to go in with my soft paintbrush. Let's go with that soft brush. Bring down the brush size. Now this isn't a part of what we're doing on Sunday. So the other thing is, I figured this gave me an opportunity to talk about Sunday again, because I did have a lot of questions last night, and tomorrow is the big day. We'll be doing our first true print and press session. So that's going to be exciting. If y'all have any questions, just let me know while I'm working on this. And Andrea, I know that you are working right now, so don't feel obligated to do anything, but comment if there's something that you see that you want me to do. I'm trying to build this black in here, because at first I just did it plain black in the background, which I know you would have been okay with, just because I know that you're also doing a lot right now. So I was just trying to add a little bit of extra pizzazz to it. Let's see, in the design I have this pink, that bright green, orange, so we're going to keep the orange. Let's change the yellow to the bright green. So let's see, everywhere I have yellow, let me go ahead and do a color overlay. And we shall choose this bright green and tell it, instead of a blend mode of normal, we're going to do some color. There we go. And now I can copy this layer style and paste it anywhere that I see yellow. There. 1, 2, 3. There should be 4 yellows total. Paste layer style. So now all of my yellow is replaced with green. Let me know what you think of this, Andrea. Oh, Teresa, this is a class that we're doing. This is going to be a class that starts on Sunday. The reason why I say it's a series is because we're going to learn several different techniques. We're going to start with the most basic technique in materials on Sunday, as far as how to set up your all over files, how to print your all over files, how to paste them together or tape them together, and then we're going to press them together. And then the series is going to be, as we go along, I'm going to be teaching you new materials, new techniques to add on to making life a little bit easier. I want to start with the simplest budget first, so the least materials, and then I'll show you as you go on if you want to save time on some things that cause issues. We'll have some tools available for that. And if you join the series, then any new content that we do as a live session, you will be privy to that live session. Not the live session, you'll be privy to any subsequent pre-recorded session. So whenever we add to it, you'll be able to watch the replays if you didn't get a chance to attend that. And I'm trying to get rid of this hard line here, so I'm going to pull it to the end here. All right, so Andrea, let me know how you feel about this, if you want to see any other colors or if this is ready to go. I think I'm going to bring back this cloud a little bit up top on your graphic. So instead of black now, I'm going to add some white. And I'm sorry if I'm not doing this in my typical tutorial style, but this is really for one of our creatives. I usually don't do custom designs on the weekends. That's when I'm usually trying to catch up with stuff that I'm supposed to be loading online for you all. But every now and then I make exceptions for my loves. All right, so now I'm going to add white so I can bring this back. Bring that back a little. Here we go. And I'm going to take a little bit of this splash from here. Control C, Control V. I'm going to concentrate it right there so it kind of hides the fact that we have a graphic, a square graphic down there somewhere. All right, so I'm cleaning that up. I'm being a little pickier than I probably should be, but I just want to make sure it looks clean. Let's see here. This is Photoshop. It looks fine just like that. Okay, love. All right, so let me show you the magic trick then. If this is good as it is, then let me go ahead and show y'all where the magic comes in, because I can save this. Really, I should be doing this on my free all over blank template that y'all know you can get from innatelab.com. Grab that free template, design on your free template, and then once you have it done, you just bring it over as a big old JPEG, just like this. Okay, but since I'm doing this one on the fly, I did kind of build it in just now. All right, so this is a huge file. I don't want it to be a huge file, so what I'm going to do is take all of these elements I just made, take all of that good stuff, let's group it, and I'm going to duplicate this group. If everything looks good, I'm going to just go ahead and merge that. Merge it. And then I'm going to export this group as a template for later so I can play with it later. Oh, I lied, I'm not going to export it. I'm going to turn it into a smart object, and then I'm going to save the smart object. All right, so once I right click, I can export the contents of this, and then I can save it as the Just Do It goofy design. Then that way I can get this out of my smart object. If your smart objects are too large, too heavy, too graphically intensive, it will affect your ability to do this next step. So now that I have my merged format, just like this one is merged, it's just a JPEG. I don't have all my layers in here. So now this one is merged. I'm going to right click and create a clipping mask. It's going to clip it down to whatever I have in this folder. So what I have in this folder right now is my 2x. My 2x outline here. Let me go ahead and save this. It will update my smart object. And then as you know before, now it updates these tiles. And I can go to File, Export, Artboards to Files. I'm going to tell it where I want it to save. And let's go ahead and make a new folder. Let's be Andrea 1. Go and save. Uh-oh. I was going too fast. There we go. Now make sure that my settings are on point. I said where I wanted to save. This is what it's going to name it. So if you don't want it to name it all of this, you can just put something else there. And it's going to, you see how it says bottom middle, bottom right, bottom left? It's going to use those labels to name each of the artboards. So if I just go back and name this Andrea, it's going to put Andrea bottom middle, Andrea bottom right, etc., etc. So I'm going to export the artboard contents only. So I'm not going to include the overlapping areas. And then I am going to include the background in the export so that all of my pages will be 13 by 19 pages. And I'm going to make sure that I have JPEG selected here as the file type. And I'm going to go ahead and run this action. And we shall see. Fingers crossed, everything works. You see how it's breaking it down right now. You can give it its time. And I have one more design to do like this, so y'all be able to see that live. And this is one of the many things I've been working on for you all. So what we do in class on Sunday, you have to have your artwork already ready, okay? I want you to, if you're not familiar with the Academy, go to academy.innatelab.com. I'll stick around for questions afterwards about the Academy and about the course. But it tells you everything that you need for homework. So basically you would have to maybe go to Lowe's today and get you a hardboard. If you don't have hardboard and butcher paper, then you may have to sit this one out. I will do another one. This is just the first one, okay? Let's go ahead and check to see if these downloaded appropriately. I have a folder called Andrea 1, and lo and behold, here's Andrea bottom left. Let's go ahead and make that bigger so you can see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It sliced it up for you, okay? Now it sliced it up and it gave you some overlap. So when you go to print this, if you print it with the margins on, which is what I suggest, I don't like printing with the margins off, like to the edge, because I have issues before with just the edges of the paper catching the print head and causing it to kind of mess up in other print areas. The other thing is if you have in, what is it? I have a 16650 which prints 13 by 19, but it doesn't print 13 by 19 without a margin. It doesn't do the borderless. So this method that I show you in class is going to show you how to do this without doing borderless printing and tiling as least sheets as you possibly can. So this is a 2X. XL and 2X is going to require 6 sheets. Anything less than that, we got down to 4 sheets yesterday, okay? So let's see. Oh, Sir Boss, you know what? Remind me, before we leave today, if you can hang on for me, remind me to do those changes while I have you live. Do you mind? Once I'm done with Andrea's, go ahead and remind me to pull up your art so I can make those changes to the number in the background. And if you don't have Photoshop, I'll still send you the Photoshop files. Because you will get that just because it's your beautiful little one that's on the template, and then I'll give you not the PNG, I'll give you the JPEG version, and I'll break it down for you like this. How about that? I'll break it down for you for free. Okay, so just stick around with me and then we'll learn together, okay? All right, so that's it. She's ready to print these out. So Andrea, you can come back to this video whenever it's time for you to print, because what you're going to do is, and I'm going to show you once I create your second design, how to go ahead and send these to the printer. So I still have one more design to do. I'm going to double click on my smart object. Okay, so now I have to switch this art out. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to switch the art out by what I already have on here. If I say yes to changing the smart object, it's updating my smart object as we speak. And that design changed just that quick. The other thing is, if you don't know what style shirt, I think these works for the 21Ms. I use them for Sublimation, and then also for, what else? What other style shirt? For the vapor shirts. So if you have a style shirt and you're not sure if the sleeves kind of slope down like this or something you're just unsure about, here's a coverall feature. You can put all sleeves. All this does is turn the top into a big old rectangle. And if you hit yes to save, and you look at the final artboard, and it's updating right now. And see, so now it gives you have no chance to mess up. You got something all up here. I don't care if the sleeves of the shirt went straight out, which most of the time they're not. They're going to slope down. Okay, but now you have a foolproof way that you can make sure that you get all of those sleeves in there. Okay, so I could also export this as a tiles, and instead of the slope down sleeves, it's going to give me this little block sleeve. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our second design. I know mama's over there working hard for the baby, so it's birthday time, and y'all know how it is at birthday time. You got to get it right. All right, so let me see if I leave these same elements up, and we're going to do this other design. Like I said, this is not my design. I'm not taking credit for it. I'm just kind of pulling my design style around an image that's already here. So let me know, Andrea, if this is like the way that you want it. Do you want me to kind of do it the same, or what I can do also? This is how I had it before. Is just plain old white or black without all the lightning and stuff, and it just looked a little plain to me. If she said she wanted an all over shirt, the only way I can do a background when it has a background already in it, especially when it has shadows and stuff, I can't cleanly cut out that background. So we have to get creative about how we do this. So let's go ahead, let's change this one. Let's do a color overlay. I'm going to do pretty much the same thing. And I can tell you the way that I test the image is I go to remove BG and I try to cut it out. If I see that it's going to have a lot of stuff in it and you can tell it's got gradients in it, that means it's not going to cut out well. But it doesn't mean we can't do something with it. All right, so I'm going to try your image here. And let's go to remove BG and drop it there, see what it does. It says it's got a little drop shadow, so it may not cut cleanly. This one actually cut pretty clean, so let's go ahead. I'm going to download the high resolution version of it and use up one of the credits, just because I want to make sure, because we're printing all over, that I'm not going to have a janky image. Let's go ahead and save that. Y'all, I still have my Black Panther and Chadwick Boseman stuff to share with y'all, and I am so late and off, but oh, y'all know I mean well. All right, so I'm going to bring the image as big as I can to make sure it's going to fit about what the image was before. Hit enter, turn this one off. And now I do see that it's going to have some issues showing unless I do a white background. So let's make the white background so that these things show really well. I could also try a stroke, but more than likely a stroke is not going to look good because it's going to be jagged. See, it makes you feel like it's clean, but it's not really clean. So what I'm going to do to make sure that I don't have any issues is I'm just going to reverse my colorway now. So let's do a color overlay. Let's do white. Or now we can choose any color. We can choose our orange. I know you said it was like a rusty kind of metallic orange. And I'm going to change it to normal. Honestly, I think it looks better with the white. And then the full background color. We have a gradient here. And if this one is supposed to be more of the orange, let's pull the orange in. And if I don't know what orange I want to select, I'm going to say okay to this, and I'm going to bring in that vinyl that you gave me. That's the picture of the vinyl. Let's just drag it in there. We'll use it as a color reference. I had my window open so it didn't drag it in. Okay, so that's my color reference. Make it a bit bigger. Hit enter. All right, so now for this color, go in from the black to the orange. We'll go for that kind of coppery color there. And of course that doesn't really do what we may want it to do. So if we want it to look copper, then we must make copper. So I'm just going to put in a few extra color stops here and pick. I'm going to start from the top and I'm going to pick that yellowish color. The next one, I'm going to pick the next color to that, which is kind of this mid-range orange. And then a little bit deeper. Next one, a lot of it deeper. And then the next one actually gets a little bit lighter. And finally, let's get really dark, and then we'll fade to black. And now we have an option if we wanted this to look metallic. We can kind of make it look like that roll of vinyl. Now we're not going to be doing all this in class, so make sure I'm repeating myself because I want to make sure y'all understand that the class is only for us to set up the file, set up the print settings, get y'all printed, get you cut up and tiled up, and then pressing on your board. So if you're out and about right now, and you just happen to be watching this, and you plan on going out today and you want to participate, on the Innate Academy, I give you the links to the board that you need to purchase from Home Depot or Lowe's. And if you stick around, then we'll go over that homework and make sure that you have everything, and I'll take questions. The reason why I'm not trying to get sidetracked right now and look at the comments and stuff is because Andrea needs this like ASAP Rocky. Okay. Oops. I was supposed to be looking at the comments. She says, the orange I have is just fine. Well, I just showed you how to make a copper color. Let's duplicate this and not delete. I don't know why they put delete and duplicate right next to one another. They be wanting people to go crazy. Let's duplicate the layer. Do y'all see that duplicate is right next to delete? All right, so if we wanted to go back to just the standard orange, no problemo. Let's go back to the gradient layer, And then all I'm going to do is pretty much delete. Matter of fact, I'll just rather take it back to a black and white. And then just change out this one color orange. And I might make it a little more intense of a color. There we go. So now we have an option between the black to orange or the black to the copper metallic. And we just made a metallic color out of nowhere. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that color reference now because we got what we needed from it. Let me know, Andrea, which one you like, whether you like the copper version or the other. Let me get rid of that. Oh, that's supposed to be white too. But what, we don't need it on this one. And also let me know if you want to keep the lightning bolts on this one or no, because I will change the colors if you want to keep them. Or, no, it kind of has some of the same colors. I think we would end up, there's no green. Well, there's green in this one. So let me know if you want to keep those bolts on there. And guys, you'll be looking out because this is a template that I'm working on, but I just happened to be giving it to Andrea early because she needed some artwork done. The copper, see, it was good. We spent a little time on the copper. Okay, especially if she has like any of those like copper foams or whatever. I know she's a sneakerhead, so details are important. All right, so this is it. Now I'm going to show you what you need to do for homework. So let's say you spent your time getting this design together. I think there's one more thing I need to do. Let's take the text here, and I'm going to do a little bit of color shifting so I can make this orange kind of match our copper orange. So let's do another little extra bit that y'all didn't ask for today. Okay, so no pink in this one. Got you. So what I'll do is I will do a new adjustment layer. I'm going to do hue saturation. And I'm going to use the previous layers to create a clipping mask so it does not affect anything other than that image. All right, and I'm going to go to, you said no pink. So if I don't know what pink is, I'm going to assume pink is probably magenta based or red based. So when I choose my little picker tool over here, this little finger, it turns into a color picker. I tap that color and it's telling me that those are magentas. I can turn the saturation all the way down and all the way up and see indeed those are magentas, but it probably still has a little red in there. If you can see, it still has a little tint of color even when I bring this all the way down. And if I want to find out, I'm going to go to my reds. I'm going to crank them all the way up. Yep, that's where that extra magenta was, and crank them all the way down. Now I have essentially turned that pink to gray right now. Do y'all see that? So, and it also changed that orange. So what I'm going to do is bring it back up. I'm going to try to make it orange instead of pink. All right, so right now I'm bringing the saturation up just so I can see what I'm working with. And then I'm going to change the hue. So instead of pink, that's bringing it towards the purples. I'm trying to get it more towards the orange and make it look all nice and coppery. And then I'm going to go back and mess with my magentas. So right now I turn the magenta all the way to gray, but I'm going to crank it up a little bit. And we're going to make it more orange. So I'm going to change the hue. See that? I'm playing with the magentas. I'm playing with that pink and changing the hue. So let's make it more, what do you say? We're going to make it more of the orange color. And I can also make it lighter or darker. Less saturation, more saturation. I'm going to see if maybe I can get kind of that brownish copper color out of it. Sometimes you fool with this, the hue and saturation, and it's a little more difficult to fool with than you can imagine. Alright, so I think we've gotten the pink out of there. I can turn it off and turn it back on. It's no longer pink there. But without repainting it, and the other thing is it's not a high resolution image, so when it replaces colors, it's not going to be optimal. But I think for this purpose, you'll be able to use it just fine. There we go. Got it to be a little more orange. That's what I wanted. And then I can even play with other colors. I can go to my yellows, bring the saturation all the way down for the yellow, bring it up. Are there any other colors in the shoes, Andrea, besides the copper? Is it just like copper and black, or because it is possible to kind of turn the other colors more to gray, or like a neutral color? But she may like that it has the other colors in it, so let me know what you think. So those are the yellows. If I go to the greens, same thing. I can turn them off and on. See what the greens look like when I fool with them. And I can change the hue of those greens. Let's say you want it to be more of like a teal. We have the opportunity there to do that. So this is playing with hue saturation. These are the type of things I want you to spend time just playing with. And right now I'm on the cyans. It has a good little deal of cyan in here. But you notice when I get to extreme colors, if it's not a clean graphic, it is going to look a little murky. So you have to be careful of that. It's a lot of color going on here. All right, so let's go back and we'll stick with you're okay with the other colors except for the pink bolts? So let's bring the bolts back, or we don't have to do the bolts at all. It's all up to you. So we can take the bolts that are pink, and then I'm going to do a color overlay. And let's bring that darker copper in there, and we'll choose the blend mode of color. And now we'll have that darker and the lighter, and it still ties in with the artwork. So now I'm going to take the layer style that I did for the pink, copy the layer style, and paste it wherever I see the pink bolts. So I'm going to hold down Control while I'm selecting all of the pink bolts, because I don't want to have to do this over and over again. I want to work smart, like it says, smart object, and not hard. So I selected these and paste the layer style so all the pinks are not orange. All right, so for homework then, if this is good to go, all right, and Andrea, there's a little bit of a delay here too, so it probably takes about a good 30 seconds for you to see what I'm seeing and for me to see your response. So let me know if this is good to go or if we need to change anything before I show the next step. All right, so we are saving now just to make sure. I'm going to send you this one because I'm not sure what style sleeves you're using. So this will pretty much save you no matter what style sleeves you're using. And if this is ready to go, then all we have to do is go to File. We're going to now I'm going to take this layer, Control T. Make sure that it makes it all the way to the end here. Even though I know we're not using this end out here, I just want to be safe. Other thing we can do is take it, duplicate it, and kind of make it repeat to make sure that it's going to make it all the way across. Because I hate when I'm doing an all over design and I can see a hard line cut off somewhere. Okay, so if this is good, it says when you slide the bar with the colors over the orange. Oh, so you did like when there was a little more orange over the words. Okay. So let's go back to our hue saturation, and we'll go with, I think I had the reds I changed, the magentas, let's move that hue to where it's going to become more orange like that, and then leave the other colors. Or change them to be more orange as well. Kind of have to pay attention to where the orange even is. So that's bringing a little more orange in. But at the same time, that orange is looking a little murky. What was that, the cyans? So I'm going to change it back to 0. The other thing we can do, here's another thing. You can do, let's duplicate this hue saturation layer. You can do what's called colorize. And when I colorize it, it's going to take everything and pretty much make it one hue. Okay, so it's all black and whatever hue color. Now what I'm going to do is reset everything and do a colorize layer. And when I colorize it, I'm choosing my hue. You see that? I can make it whatever color I want, whatever saturation I want. Do you like that better? And then we can change the lightning bolts to all be the copper colors. I think that works too. Let me know what you think. So we'll be getting some orange up in there, and then kind of manipulating the orange to either be lighter or darker, a little less saturation so it seems a little grayed out in copper. And let's do I told you you talking about I'm overdoing it, but if you tell me something that you want to match, I know that like I said, sneakerheads are real particular, so I do my best to make sure that, just like if I'm doing a remembrance shirt, right? You know, somebody really cares about that person. I feel like that about sneakerheads, that they really care about their, you know, their shoes. So it's an interpretation of it. So it's just like if you told me to paint something, I'm going to use that as a subject, put my own spin on it, and hopefully they really like it and appreciate it. Okay, so just doing a little something here that I may or may not keep. And I'm going to do that full effect. Duplicate that, bring it to the top. Now I'm just playing with some stuff here. I don't know what I'm doing. Well, I have an idea of what I'm doing. I'm just playing with it at the moment. And let's clear this layer style and see what we're working with. Trying to make it look a little kind of chromy, metallic-y. So let's copy that layer style. I'm going to paste it on the one below. Paste that layer style. And then anything that fills it, I'm going to turn it off. Here we go. Now we just made this copper gradient. As a matter of fact, Alba, we made this copper gradient off of a roll of vinyl that Andrea gave me that she said was about the color of the shoes. So we just used that. So now I was just using that to kind of come up with what we were going to do for this same exact look. If I click on a color stop and I click somewhere else, it's going to duplicate that color stop. So you see I'm bringing those oranges back. I'm just kind of repeating my gradient here, smushing it together so I have more repeating versions of the same color, just as I would if I had a vinyl roll. And this is why like when I tell you I do custom design, I don't like to do a lot of just unique custom design for every customer, just because this is a little time consuming. But every now and then when you all ask for special products, or special projects, I'll do it for you all because it's a learning opportunity. You all can see how you'll use the different tools, the effects, the blend modes. The typical customer doesn't really appreciate seeing all this. They just want to see the final product. But I know that you all care about this kind of stuff and learning these principles. Right, and I think this darker color, I'm going to get rid of it because it's a little too dark, and then we already have some darkness there. And I think it's coming together pretty good. Now I can change the scale of my gradient. Yeah, I wanted to see a little more of that brighter color in the middle. So I'm going to copy that layer style once again and paste it here. Let's crank that back up all the way to 100%. We start to see our little drips again. Let me know what you think. All right, so, all right, I'm gonna back up. See what I'm doing. Original colors. Okay, so original colors, all we're gonna do is take off the hue saturation here. I forgot I had that on. All right, so let's take off the hue saturation And we'll take off the copper there and turn off the effects here. So this is what it looked like before, where we just changed some of the pinks and some of the red colors to orange. So Andrea, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put numbers and you tell me which number you like best. This is going to be 1. Okay, that's 1. I'm going to add the effects to the background only, and that's going to be 2. And all this did was kind of give it a little bit of a stroke to the back of it. And really and truly, let me go back to my gradient. I'm going to save this gradient we just made. So we just spent all this time making this copper. I'm going to come down here to my gradients, hit new, and it's going to save that as a new gradient. So then that way, for my stroke, I can use our new copper and see if we like that. There we go. So that will be 2. So 2 has the stroke around it. We also could do a color stroke instead of a gradient. That's going to be most likely black. But then it looks a little grainy because it's not a clean cut file. And y'all know how I feel about that. So let's just do it to the outside. Number 2, love it. All right, we'll go with number 2 then. And what was I about to do? Let me bring this opacity down for the stroke a little bit. That just kind of darkens it up just a little. All right, so we have the copper in the background. Let me know if this is where it's at. This is number 2, so it has a little bit of that orange in there, still has some other colors. And let me know if we need to change the color of any of the lightning bolts, or the lightning bolts are good as is, because we have that teal color or that cyan color kind of popping through. And we have 2 oranges here, and then we have a lime green. So if this is where it's at, let me show you what we do here. So all we have to do, we just spent all this time designing, but all I need in the magic template, y'all still have to help me figure out the name of it. So let's call it all over slice magic, all over tile magic, something. Y'all give me some ideas so I can focus on this design. Okay, so save as, we're going to save it as a, matter of fact, if I use your idea, then you'll get the template for free. How about that? Let's do a JPEG, and we're just going to save it. This is no longer the Just Do It Goofy design, so let me save this separately. This is going to be the Check Me design. I'm going to save the Photoshop version just in case I need to edit anything, because once I save it as a JPEG, it's not going to allow me to edit. As a matter of fact, I see in the graphic, and you'll see when you zoom in, this is not a clean cut graphic. This is not a high resolution graphic. So I probably should clean that right there up just a little bit on my design. I'm just going to go in there, clean it up just a little bit. And because it's a smart object, watch this. It's going to open up, has its own little thing, and I'm going to zoom in. And now you can see all those pixels or whatnot. Let's grab the contiguous. Yeah, it's going to be a little hard to clean that up. Let's do 11 pixels so we can grab that. And I'm going to hold down the addition to that. You see, that's where that white was coming from. This is the original graphic. And like I said, this is not my graphic, so whoever designed this, it's a cool graphic. It's just not high resolution. Trying to get in here and clean it up. All right, so that looks good. Now we would have to select all of the inside of the text too. So I'm just going to go ahead and get inside of those letters. And this is another thing. If I weren't doing this all over, this may not matter. Or if you weren't doing this all over, it may not matter. But you'll notice when you start doing all over shirts, it might be something that looks okay at a certain resolution on your screen. And this is what I have to explain to folks when they order these all over prints from me. Just so you know, I do ship out the all over prints ready to go. You send me your artwork and I will print it for you on a big sheet, mail it to you. And we have different turnaround options. We have a same day turnaround. If you get it to me by 10 a.m., we can ship it out that same day. We have a next day turnaround. And then we also have our standard 3 to 4 business days that doesn't have any extra rush fees or anything. So we have quantity discounts too. If you're going in and ordering 10 or more of the same exact print, then it only charges you $11 per print versus $14 per print. So then that way you don't have to worry about tile and stuff, but sometimes you have no choice because if you don't have a large format printer or you don't have enough time to order the prints, you just have to do them tile. And I understand that. So that's why I'm teaching these classes, because y'all asked me about them. And I know that I have been putting off this tiling all over stuff because it is a pain for me. But because I know how much a pain it is for me, that's what encouraged me to make this little magic template for you all, because I know the pitfalls to it, why I didn't like doing it, why I didn't do it. Like I would charge customers $60 for a front only all over print. And if they really wanted it and they wanted me to do that kind of manual labor, then I would do it. But otherwise, it took up so much of my time. You're talking about, but it could take about an hour to do one shirt. So I wanted to charge at least $60 an hour for my time, so I would charge them $60 for that shirt. And that, you know, of course, includes material. So I wasn't really even making $60 for an hour. All right, so I got most of what I want selected. I'm going to go to select and mask here because I want to see what I have. Turn the feathering all the way off, and I want to turn the smoothing up because I want to make sure that those jagged edges are a little bit more smooth. And I'm going to put my shift edge to 0. So what this is going to help me with is if I have some edges that were a little janky, this is going to help with that. It's not going to fix that, okay? Photoshop is a hell of a program, but it is not a magician, okay? So if we have, they say, you know, quality in is quality out. So you definitely want to keep that in mind. All right, so I just smoothed it a little bit, and we're going to select the inverse of this and create a clipping mask. So it kind of cleans that up a little bit. And once I hit yes to this, we should be able to instantly watch it do whatever I just did. Right between there. It cleaned it a little, but I would have to do a lot more work. I basically would have to recreate the design if I wanted that to be its best version of itself. But I think this is going to work great for your intention that you have for today. We got a little drop shadow on there right now. I don't know if you noticed that. The little drop shadow makes it pop off the shirt too. Yes, so you want to do splash or smoke? Absolutely. So let's show you how to do that. So let's turn off the lightning bolts and let me do this. Because I want to make sure I'm doing it the right size, let me go to templates, and this is the free one that you can download online. You get, which one is it? This one. Yep, blank template. So this is the template that you get online. This is what you really should be designing on. So I'm going to take all these layers and bring it over to that, just so I can ensure that I'm not going to cut anything off. And if you don't design on a template first, you're going to be amazed that some things you thought were going to end up on the shirt really ain't going to end up on that shirt. Okay, so I'm going to drop it below my little shirt form here. And now I can see what I'm doing. Okay, and I can also see my text and photo save area. If you're scared it's going to get cut off, make sure that it's not outside of this area. All right, so let's say we're going to do smoke instead. Let's go ahead and grab our brush. And these brushes are available on Innate Lab. Let's see. If you want to do smoke, or let's do smoke. We always do the paint splashes. Let's try a little smoke. All right, so I'm going to grab and make me a new layer. And I'm going to use black and make the brush a little bit bigger. And just stamp. Okay, so that's a little smoke. I'm just going to stamp it there. All right, so once I have my stamp, I'm going to move this around. Control T, I'm going to transform it. And I have a little black smoke coming up from the bottom. And then what we'll do, maybe we'll do a little copper from the top. So let's Alt click and drag. I just made it a duplicate of it, but it looks exactly the same. So in order to switch it up a little bit, I'm going to Control T to transform it and flip it horizontal. So now it kind of looks like it's the left and right version of it. And we'll hit enter there. And let's say I did want to make this the copper style. So I can duplicate this layer. And let's just say I want to make that copper. Let's do instead of a color overlay this time, let's do a gradient overlay. And instead of color dodge, we're going to do normal. And voila, now we have that cool little copper gradient. And we can layer it right on top and make it look like it's doing a little something extra. Let me know if you like that. If you do, then all I have to do is Alt click and drag. That just made a duplicate. And then Control T. I'm going to transform it, flip it horizontal. Bam. If you want to know how to do all this from scratch, we have a whole class. It is Innate Academy class number 101. And we did this with the paint splashes. We built all it from scratch. We did a gradient from scratch. Everything that I'm doing right now is step by step recorded with all of the classmates doing it. So you get to see other people's mistakes. You get to see other people learn and not just try to imagine how this stuff is done. All right, and if I feel like it's a little too much yellowish here, I'm gonna go in and go to my gradient, and I can pull a little bit of this yellow out. I have a little bit in there, but I feel like it's a little too intense. Or I can make it just a little bit darker. There we go. And technically I can say that is a new gradient. So now that's a new version of the gradient. And instead of me doing this all over again to the one on that side, I'm just going to right click, copy the layer style, copy layer style, and then paste it. All right. So let me know if that's about what you were talking about, Andrea. And if so, then I will know that this is ready to go to the next step. Let's see. And oh, I think that's an old comment. So let me know, Andrea, I'm just waiting. I know there's a little delay here. Just waiting to make sure that this is what you wanted to see before we move on to the next step. Which I can turn off the guides now, but I want you to pay attention to these guides because a lot of times y'all will send me files and you're sending them to print as is. I want you to check with this template to make sure that if you have a smaller medium, that something's not going to get cut off. Sometimes you'll take these Word files and you'll stretch them all the way out here to the bottom down here. And I know for a fact that meat is going to be missing off of a small, medium, and a large, extra large because you got it stretched all the way down here to the 2x, 3x. Now, if you're printing a 2x, 3x, that's fine. But if you're printing anywhere from smalls to the 2x, 3x, keep it in this photo safe area. I can't stress to you enough how important that is. All right. Perfect. All right, that's my word. I like to see the word perfect. Okay, so since it's perfect, I'm going to go ahead and turn off all of these layers, and I'm going to save this as a JPEG. Okay, this is ready to go as a JPEG. Save as. We'll go ahead and save it as a JPEG and place it and this all over. I don't know how I missed JPEG. All right, save it. And then we'll save this one as, what is it doing? There we go. Check me design JPEG. Here we go. Make sure it's cranked all the way up to 12 when you save it. You want it to be the right dimensions, the right size. And let's let that save. It shouldn't take long since it's only saving the JPEG. I'm just going to make sure I save that with the smoke. And I'll send you this, Andrea, too. I'll send you the Photoshop files, okay, love? So then that way when you have time to play with it, you'll have it. All right. Just close that out. I'm going to close this out now. Deborah, we're using Photoshop. That's the software that I use primarily and that I teach. I also, every now and then I'll do affinity templates. I don't do a lot of teaching affinity because what I encourage people to do is to learn Photoshop. Once you learn Photoshop, then you can master any other graphics program, I guarantee you. So I have decided, instead of trying to teach a whole bunch of random classes because there's only one of me and I haven't quite figured out how to clone myself, that I'm only going to teach Photoshop right now. And once you're great with Photoshop, you will learn how to go into Affinity and kind of translate the features that Photoshop has versus the features that Affinity has. I've never taken a class on Affinity. I just learned about it recently, and I can navigate Affinity just fine based on my knowledge of Photoshop. So I'm always going to recommend, if you need my help in teaching, that you take the Photoshop classes or at least watch the free Photoshop videos that I give on YouTube. And then that way, once you're confident in Photoshop, you can take on the world. All right, so now is the moment of truth. We're going to double click here. Oh, you know what? I need to export these tiles while I'm here. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's export Artboards to files. So this is the magic part, okay? All right, we'll save this one as Andrea 2 _ Make sure it says Artboard content only. Include the background, and JPEG is the file type. And we'll go ahead and run that action. And as long as it's visible, then it's going to export those tiles. You can make it export a select, the select tiles, but I suggest just keeping it simple. Whatever you have visible is what it's going to create as a tile. So make sure everything that you want to tile is visible. That means make sure that eyeball is turned on for each of those artboards, okay? And you'll know, because if you don't see it, then the eyeball isn't on. And that's pretty simple for you. All right, you're welcome, my love. We're getting ready to, once we get this one magically saved, we can say, okay, let's check our folder before we do any editing. Make certain that it's where we want it to be. We should have a folder now called, or it's not going to be called in a folder called Andrea 2. What did I say I was going to save it? Here. Okay, so here, Andrea 2s, we have all 6 of those tiles. Okay, ready to go. So I'm going to take those and we'll throw them into that folder. And let's go ahead and now do the next design. So we're going to double click. In fact, I'm going to show you from scratch. So we're going to double click on the smart object. So let me put here, I'm going to rename this double click change image. Okay, so that's your cue. I like to do this with y'all live because when you ask questions and have suggestions, it makes me implement them in my files. All right, so as long as I have the top artwork selected, when I drag in my new artwork, which is going to come from this folder, we have it saved right here, the Check Me design. We're just going to drag and drop it right onto that artboard. See how that arrow turned into a plus sign? I'm going to drag and drop it, and it's not clipped at this moment. So if I want to clip it, then I'm going to drag it below, and it automatically clips it because I dragged it within these other clipped layers. You see that? So now this is ready to print. When I close out of this, I'm going to hit yes that I want to save, or you could have done Control S to save, or you could have done File Save. All right, so there it goes. It updated, and this is ready to split. So let's do it together. Let's go File, Export. We're going to do the Artboard files. This pop-up box will appear, and we're going to make sure that we save it. This time I want to save it inside of that folder. And I'm going to run this, make sure I have artboard content only, include background and export, and make sure the file type is JPEG. And then I can save this as Andrea3. If I can spell, underscore, and run that. Run me my tiles Photoshop. Because the reason why I did this is because y'all wanted me to teach this class, and I know some people have Macs, some people have PCs, some people have trouble with using the Adobe PDF tile splitter. And I don't want you to have to buy a whole nother program just to split tiles. So I figured that I would create a way with these smart objects and whatnot that will be able to give you the ability within the program, not to have to go outside the program, to split up your pages. And then not have to do the math, because I was going to teach y'all the math as far as, oh, come to the left 17.5, so then you have a 0.5 overlap. And then I decided I didn't want to teach math. So I will have to tell you, this came from wanting to optimize the time that we spend together so that we can focus on the issues that we have with pressing and tiling, and not with how to split up the artwork. That is the least of your worries. Now it is the least of your worries, okay? So we're good on this. Let's make sure that all the tiles are here in the folder. And yes, I have bottom left, bottom middle, bottom right, top left, top middle, top right. Amen. We are good to go. I'm going to delete these old ones so you have 2 and 3 now. And Andrea, what I'm going to do, I'm going to send you these tiles ready to go, because I know you probably, I don't know if you have to print and press these today, or if this is what you intended to do for class tomorrow, if you're able to come to class tomorrow. But I will send you, as a matter of fact, while I'm thinking about it, let's do it right now, because y'all know that I'm one of them people, I get wrapped up in something the moment I get ready to do something else. So let's do, I'm going to open up my other folder, right click, and let's see where I put these others. So I'm going to delete all that. Don't need it anymore. Somebody asked how we created that copper gradient. That's the image we used right there, literally, to pick colors from. So you can go back and rewind this video and see how we made that copper color. And then I'm no longer in need of any of this stuff because we have that saved. So where did I save it? I saved it in my exclusive folder. So this is your Check Me design with the smoke. Bam, I'm going to put it in that folder for you. We don't need the original Check Me design because that's in there. The Just Do It Goofy design is, I'm going to give you that as a file that you can play with later. And then the other thing is we need these JPEGs. This one, I'm going to go ahead and bring that one over. So you have that as a JPEG. So if you're going to do the class, all you need is that JPEG, and then I'll walk you through how to do this. We're going to do it all together. So don't try to jump the gun. I know you got a lot on your plate today anyway, so I don't know if you're attending class tomorrow, but if you are, you have everything that you need. That's your JPEG right there. So if you need to, you can make one shirt today if you have to for the party, and then save one for tomorrow, because we're definitely going to get into it. We're going to answer all the questions. We're going to be able to handle all of the frustrations and issues that we run into. We're going to tackle them together. And then for this last one, I'm just going to fill it with color so that I can get this entire background file, and I'm going to save this as a JPEG. No, we already got this one as a JPEG. I need to do this one as a JPEG for you. File, save as. I'm going to save that as a JPEG and put that in your folder. And this is all the stuff that I'm going to send to you. Just do it, goofy design, and then this is going to be the JPEG version of it. So that's it. That is it, my love. That's it. Happy printing and pressing, because I know that is the hard part. I'm just trying to get you through a little bit of the one that we have problems starting, which is the artwork sometimes. Franklin, yes, it is possible to do this with an 8.5 by 14 sheets. If you don't have a 13 by 19 printer, I'm going to show you the way that I was telling people how to do it before, because I don't anticipate doing this with 8.5 by 14 sheets, but I can demonstrate that for you if you want to hold on. I still have, after this artwork, I said I would do, gosh, Mr. I can't think right now. I'm trying to see if I can. Oh, Sir Broyles. So I'm gonna do his layout and break it down for him so he can print. Sir Broyles, let me know. Do you have a 13 by 19 printer? Because if you have an 8.5 by 14, then I'll do it like that, and then that way I can show everybody how to do it the other way. Okay, so the non-magic way, but it's not incredibly hard. It's just that you have to have another program to do it. All right, how can I apply the gradient without covering the whole image? You want to, that's a great question. Let me show you a difference real quick. I'm going to put this in my all. Let's turn that on. Oh, I can't, because let's just try it right here. I'm going to turn off my all layer. All right, so if this is a gradient that I want to apply to this, you take your gradient tool, you just put any old gradient over something, it's going to cover everything, okay? What you want to make sure that you do is you have the one that is, usually it's going to be your whatever your foreground color here is. Right now my foreground color is black. It's going to be that foreground color, and it's going to have checkerboard. That checkerboard means it's transparent. So I'm going to go back, Control Z, do the same thing. Just take that gradient, I hold shift to make sure that it stays straight. And now that gradient only went over part of my image. So the dark part is down here, and then it goes transparent. You want to see that again? There we go. So if you make it transparent, then it gives you a reason to be able to see your image underneath it. If you do not make it transparent, you make it go from one color to another color, then yes, it's going to cover up the whole image. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and save this. I need to send this over to Andrea because I believe that she needs to get to work on this today. I'm not sure. But this was supposed to be a rush order, and it's already getting late. So let me go ahead and send this to her. What I'm going to do, what time is this for already? Okay, so what I'm going to do is, if y'all hang out with me, I'll just go ahead and save this. That way we don't have to start a whole new session. How about that? So let's do a little moment of silence because I can't talk and do stuff at the same time. Let's see. So Andrea, everything that I have here, I'm going to send to you via Gmail. So be looking out for that, my love, while you have everything else going on in the background. I appreciate you. I thank you for your support. And let's make sure we go ahead and get this to you ASAP, Rocky. There we go. I'm just going to respond to the existing thread, and it's going to be some Google Drive links. And just, I'm sure you know because you've done templates before. When that Google Drive is just spinning, it's just lying to you. It's not working on anything. It's just spinning because it thinks it's funny for you to stare at it. So make sure that you hit the download arrow that's going to be at the top right of the screen to download all these files. So let me find where this is first. And I put this in my Academy folder, my 002 exclusive course, and Andrea has a file all to herself. And I'm going to share that link with you via Google Drive. And I'm just talking because I want y'all to understand I am doing something right now. I'm not just having y'all look at the screen. All right, so here's the link to that entire folder. You should be able to download everything in that folder. Alrighty, love, good luck with this project. So now we can go ahead and move on to the next question. Let's see. Sir Bros, are you still with us? So the F570. I'm sure I can guess what you can do for the F570. I've never used it though. So I think you can print up to what, 24 inches on the F570? And if it's 24 inches, then what you want is an overlap in the middle. And if you're doing all overs, then you can pretty much do one template. And usually I do 44 inches is my width of my big printer. So you can make it to where 44 inches is no big deal at all for you to print width-wise, and then 36 inches is usually my height for those templates. So this is what I'll do. Let me show you how to print that. It can only print 24 by 24? No. It should be able to print longer than 24 inches. It's got to. It's roll media, right? Or do you have sheets that are 24 by 24 inch sheets? Let me know, Grover. Somebody else asked about that too. Oh, that was Grover. You were asking twice. You make sure I got that answer for you. Oh, yes. So, LaQuisha, you can find that video link. I'm trying to think. What's the best way to find that link? It should be posted. Let me see if it's up there. Because you can watch it again and just make sure that when you do that gradient process that I did the other day, that that you're following the steps, whether I used a gradient full color or if I used a color to transparent version of it. So let's see real quick. And I'm trying to give Mr. Broyles a chance to check in with us. He might have checked out because we've been on here for a little minute. Let's see. So I'm gonna go to, yep. So this one, what's it asking? LaQuisha, go to this video from yesterday, the one that says live 920. We're talking about the workshop. If you go to that video, it's going to show you that process that I did with the gradients, okay? Okay, so roll media. So you can do a 24 by 36 then. So if that's the case, this is how we've been doing it. If you're doing 24-inch media, let me show you this. You're gonna be mad at how easy this is. Let's say that I have this entire artboard. I'm gonna turn my all back on because I want the program to know that I am printing this and nothing else. Let me truncate this so I'm not confused. And this was the old school method. This is where I was saying you had to use math, because normally you're used to seeing it like this, right? Well, of course, it's not with red effects on it, but you're used to having one big old image and then going to print. So when I go to file print, and I'm going to save this because sometimes you go to file print when you have a large document and Photoshop will shut down because it's having a compatibility issue with the printer. So when I go to file print, this is what I used to do back in the days, okay? This is when I got out of printing all overs off of tiles. And I stopped that a long time ago. But now it's kicking back up where you just don't have a choice. So let's say I'm going to choose one of my 7710s. Hopefully I won't forget and actually send something to it. So let's go to my 7710. And I'm going to go to my print settings. And I'm going to make sure I use my True Ink print settings. And I have a whole video showing you what my True Colors ink settings are. Printer settings are, I'm sorry. So watch that video because it tells you how to calibrate your monitor. Number one, calibrate your monitor first. Second, you're going to set up your printer, the default settings for your printer. And third, you're going to set up the print settings in Photoshop. If you do all three of those things, it's going to give you best chances to get the most accurate color output that you can using the True Colors ink. And it's no ICC profile. So definitely check that out. All right, so let's say that I know that I'm going to print this up in 6 tiles. This is what I'm telling y'all, that I love y'all because I created this because I didn't want you to have to do this. What I have used, and make sure you choose Photoshop manages colors there too. Relative colorimetric is on as well. Just letting y'all know those details. I used to have to do the math. So I would do the top. I would say 0, 0 for the top, right? Because it's going to 0, 0 my image there. And then I would print that out, right? I would hit print. Then I would have to remember if the print messed up in the middle, I would have to remember which one it was trying to print. And it's crazy. So that's why I'm telling you the new method that we have is going to be so much simpler. All right, so then I'm going to keep the top at 0, and instead of left, I'm going to go, it's been so long since I've done this, I'm going to take away 0.2, no, I'm going to take away 0.4. And from the left, I'm going to say 13, not 13, negative 13, negative 13.6, takes away a 0.4. All right, so my top is 0, my left is negative 13.6, oh, not 13.6, negative 12.6. And this is why I say math is important, and I didn't want to be teaching y'all math, okay? I don't want this to turn into some, past summer school for y'all. So 12.6, that means we took away 0.4 from the 13-inch paper. That means that when it gives me these margins here, I'm still going to have a little bit of overlap that I can deal with. All right. Next thing is I have to figure out how much to go over for the next tile. So what I'm going to do is add 12.6 to 12.6, and what that should give me, what, 30.2, 24, 25.2. Let's see. Let's see if my math is correct. 12.6 times 2, 25.2. So then I will put in negative 25.2 here, 25.2. And then that will be the last print that I print for the top. And then I will have to go and say, well, now what do I want my top to be? I had 19 inches, right? I'm going to take away 0.4. So then I would do 18.6. And because it's going down, I'm going to put a negative sign in front of it. And lo and behold, now I'm going to print the bottom right. And then I'm going to have to go back. So my other measurement was negative 12.6. And that would print my middle tile. I would hit print. And mind you, you have to remember these numbers every time. And then I would go to 0. And then I would print my bottom left one. So as you can imagine, I'm saving you some time and energy by having this, artboard set up. But it is definitely possible to do it without the magic template, okay? So I just like to show you all. I show you how to do it from scratch. I show you how to do it without paying for anything, but I also show you the reason why it's valuable, some of the tools that I'm putting out there that I'm selling, because it does save you some time and it basically helps you to be more professional in a more efficient manner, okay? So yes, I can teach you how to do this stuff from scratch too, but it's not an efficient use of my time to keep teaching it over and over again. So that's why I wanted to go ahead and come up with the magic template for you all. All right. Let's see if y'all have any questions. I'm just talking and talking. Okay, so Grover, in your situation, let's walk this through, okay? If I know my printer is not going to print this size, but I'm going to imagine that it can print your size paper. And let me see if it will even allow me to do this. I'm going to go to a user-defined document size. And I'm going to call it, oh, it won't let me do more than 13. So let me do this then. I know I can do it with my big printer. So I'm going to pretend that my big printer is your 24-inch printer. So I'm going to go to my 7200 series. Okay. And I know we can print this all in one thing, but I'm going to pretend even with my big printer, it's possible that I could only have 24-inch paper in stock, right? So I'm going to go to my print settings, and I know I have a default set up here, but let's set some new settings here. So for paper size, I'm going to go to a custom paper size. LaQuisha, okay, so if you have 18-inch paper, if you cannot do the 36-inch, basically, yes, you can tile it, but I want to tell you something. When it comes to this paper, you think that the thickness of paper doesn't matter when you're just overlapping it one time, but the more you overlap paper, the more inconsistencies and pressures that you have, and we're going to reveal that we're going to have those type of issues. And I'm revealing those on purpose, because if this is the most basic class, I want you to see how hard it is sometimes to get this pressure thing right. And then we have some solutions to that later on, where I'll show you how to use other materials like felt, foam, and some different things that we're going to do to help to resolve those issues by buying a few extra pieces of material, okay? Oh no, Deborah, this wasn't done for Andrea just because she actually had a custom order that was placed, and we do custom orders. So the issue was that normally I don't do custom orders on the weekends, but I decided to make an exception and do hers for this weekend. And if I know it's one of you all asking for a custom order, because usually you'll answer the question when you go online and place an order for a custom order. Let me show you how to do that real quick. I know I'm jumping all over the place. Let's go to innatelab.com. Now this is the main Innate Lab website. Of course, the Academy is a different website. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a link up here that says if you're trying to learn, go to the Academy, because I know that some of you get mixed up, and I want there to be a clear difference that you're on the Innate Lab website versus the Innate Academy website. They're two different brains, okay? What was I explaining? Oh, for you to be able to go to the design and print services, and you can come here and go to custom design. And for my fellow creatives, if you go ahead and fill this out and it asks you a question, it'll say, are you a member of Innate Creatives? And you say yes. If you say yes, that's a cheat code. That means that I'm going to send you the Photoshop file even if you don't pay for the Photoshop file. So if you put your file type as a PNG, just because you're in the Innate Creatives, you're going to save $20 because you're going to know, okay, I'm just going to tell how I want that PNG. And then I'm going to select, yes, I'm in the Innate Creatives, and she's going to send me that Photoshop file. Okay, so you save $20 because I charge, even though I do custom work for someone, they're not paying me for the file. They're paying me for the custom work. So I send them the flattened version of the image if they only pay for the PNG. However, if you're a member of the Innate Creatives, then I save you 20 bucks and I give you the Photoshop version instead. And you can edit it later if you want to, and you have that for the future. The other thing is, if you're a member of the Innate Creatives and you ask me to do the session live, if it's available, sometimes we'll have it available. We're working on getting some more artists vetted so that I'm not the only artist that's available to do it live. But if we don't have any artists that are available to do it live, then it'll be done in the background and you'll receive your file as a finished product, okay? So that's just a little information for you. We do have a custom design service. Make sure that you take advantage of that if you need it. I'm trying to tell you, I'm trying to give y'all tools, and I'm also trying to give you services that help you look uber professional. All right. That, and let's go back to this tiling thing now. So paper width, let's say in my big printer, I only have 24-inch paper. And then my paper height is going to be 36 inches. So these are the settings that you would use, Grover, 24 by 36. And in my paper size name, I'm going to call it 24 by 36. There might be a point in time where only 24-inch paper is available to me, and I may have to do this as well. So I'm going to go ahead and save it, 24 by 36. And I'm going to hit save. So now I have that paper size available to me. So when I do 24 by 36, and I'll show you my other settings later, but watch this update. Now I have to choose what's going to go on this board now, right? It's too small. So you can do the same exact thing we just went over. Your top is 0, 0, right? Go ahead and send that through to your printer. That's 24 by 36 right there. And this is a 2X shirt. So now if I choose my left side, I'm going to take away. So I'm going to minus. Let's say you want to be safe and I don't know what your print margins are. So maybe your print margin will be, let's say 1/2 inch. I know it's probably not 1/2 inch, but let's say it is. Then you want to go left 23.5. You see that? And that's easy. And oh, you know what? I lied. I need to have it go this way. I lied, I'm sorry. And the reason why is because with this being a 2X, now with your up to a large, you're going to be fine just doing the left to right. But for this purpose, because you're doing the bigger one, let's see, this is 36 inches wide. Well, yeah, we might as well make this whatever this is. Let's check real quick. Hold on, let me hit Dunzo here. What is this art file size? So the width is 38.2. All right, so let's do this. Let's go back to file print. So 38.2, I'm going to tell it that this is a cool 39-inch paper. So let's go back to our print settings. Let's change our paper size. And let's do the paper width as still 24. The paper height, and we're going to make it 39 inches. And we'll save that as 24 by 39. Hit save. Okay. Now I don't know if does the 24-inch printer, does it have a cutter on it, or do you have to manually cut off the roll? That's just a question, so you can answer that for me whenever you hear it. I know we have a little delay. All right, so 24 by 39 now. And watch how it should update. See how I can fit everything on here now? Bam! And here's the thing too. If you can avoid putting that half mark right in the middle of the shirt, then do that. So I'm going to print most of the top part up top, because usually that's where somebody's face is. And when you cut in the middle of somebody's face and have the towel sheets over somebody's face, yeah, it's usually going to be a little bit of a problem. So we'll make sure that we let Photoshop manage the colors. And I'm going to come down here. So I'm going to choose 0, 0. And of course, this is going to line it up to the very top and to the very left. Okay. And the only reason why I'm doing that is because I also want to make sure that I can calculate here. So I know if I chose 0, 0, I can hit print. And then my next number that I'm going to choose is, if I'm confused, I'll just drag it up. Okay, so I know that my left still needs to be 0 and my top needs to be negative, and I can't say negative 24. Let me tell you why. If I say negative 24, you see that margin that's right there? It's going to be missing ink. That's why you can't do some of these programs like Affinity. When people tell you that it's going to tile, it doesn't have an overlap. So what you're going to end up with is a mess, number one, because those pixels are missing. You will never get them. You will never be able to tile it up appropriately because you're going to be, if that's somebody's face, you're going to be missing like a 1/4 inch of their nose. And who does that? Okay, so if it has a cutter, this is perfect because you can make it cut these sheets and keep it moving. So instead of doing negative 24, I'm going to do negative 23.5. And now I just have a little bit more data, about a 1/2 inch or more data, but that's going to give me something to overlap when I get to that point. Okay, it's not going to even give you a whole 1/2 inch overlap. It's going to give you like a 0.3 inch overlap, because about 0.2 of those inches is not going to print because you're not telling it to print borderless. Okay, so that's it. You have 2 tiles, right? So 0, 0, print, negative 23.5, 0, print. 2 tiles. You're good. You are good to go. Okay, so if you want to, and honestly, I wouldn't even make a template for that. Those are just 2 numbers. One number you have to, you don't even have to figure out the left every time. It's one number you have to type in every time, which is negative 23. And try it out. Like I said, I don't know what the margins are for that printer, so hopefully negative 23.5 gives you enough of a margin. I've tested the other template to make sure I have enough of a margin to overlap, but you let me know if this is good for you, okay? I know you got it. I know you're about to rock this thing out, and you didn't imagine it was this simple for the printer that you have, but it is that simple for the printer that you have. Another thing I want you to do, make sure you don't scale anything, and do not hit scale to fit media. Make sure it's at 100% and just let it cut it off, okay? If you try to tell it to scale it to media, then you're not going to end up with the exact files that you want printed versus what you had on your screen, okay? All right, so that's another problem solved. Let's see. Good job. Grover says will do, and I'm looking forward to that. If you would give us an update on the Innate Creatives Facebook group. If you're not already a part of that, please join us, because that's where I understand what you want to learn. I understand when y'all have issues with the templates. I cut it down so it's only us talking about these templates, only talking about these Photoshop issues, only talking about the Academy, because it got so overwhelming with all the other stuff that I wasn't able to hone in on what you all needed so that I can better teach. I can better prepare these tools for you all, and even come up with cool stuff like this automatic magic tiler. Still need help with that name, y'all. All right, let's see. I'm checking back through notes, see if I missed anybody. I was hoping I can get back with Sir Broyles, but let me see. I think he says he has a 13x19 printer. Otherwise, I'll just do that one off live. I think he just wanted to change a number and something else. All right, so at this point, I'm going to take questions on this class tomorrow just in case. Let me go ahead and hit done for this. You're welcome, Grover. Let's see. No, you do not have to be in the Academy at all to join the group. The group is the group is intended for anybody that, now you do have to have an account registered with Innate Lab, because I need to know that the people in this group are people that, at least, even if you just downloaded the free template, that's cool. The people that are in this group are actually members of Innate Lab. Like, you actually have some reason to be there, because we do have some lurkers and some imitators as well, and eventually we find them, but I'm just cutting down on a little bit of that ahead of time. So just sign up for an account with Innate Lab, because when you sign up, it's going to ask you what's your email for Innate Lab, and it's free to sign up for an Innate Lab account, and we have some free templates there. So go ahead, do yourself a favor, do me a favor, and come on down to Innate Lab. And all you're going to do is, where you see sign in, you'll actually be able to sign up. I think mine is already ready to log in. And then you will create an account. But I just want you to see, even if you don't create an account for anything other than to get this free template here, that's what we're talking about designing fresh from, is the all over blank template. Grab that template. And we have a few other templates as well. Okay. So once you sign up for your account, you are officially an Innate Lab member, and then you can go on over to Innate Creatives Facebook group, make a request, and if you have any questions about templates and stuff, we have a template showcase. We talk about if you need template help. Let me see if anybody said they needed template help. Oh yeah, that's people are sharing, and even the free stuff, y'all. Don't share the free stuff. Like, literally, it helps me for people to come to the website. Even the free stuff that I do it with purpose. So just because I give it to you all for free doesn't mean I want you all to give it away for free. I would still like to be, given proper credit for that. So I want them, if they need the free file, then just send them to this link. And here's the other thing: if you have an affiliate account, let me show you what that looks like. Even if you, there's somebody, I don't know who it is. I need to look you up, because somebody is sharing the mess out of that free file, because whoever they're sending referral links to, the people are downloading the free file. So they're doing the right thing by sending that. Now get this: if those people happen to buy a template anytime in the next 30 days, and that template link is still active on their computer because of the cookies that are installed on their computer, as long as they didn't clear their cookies, you're still going to get credit for any purchase that they make in those next 30 days, as long as you initially gave them a link. Okay, so to join the affiliate program, make sure that you sign up. As a matter of fact, I'm going to check to see if anybody has signed up, since I'm talking about it right now. And then this is my little panel here. I'll view it off screen just in case somebody don't want their little business out there. And then it keeps track of all the commission sales. Okay, so what you're going to do is sign up. You'll get your own custom link, and then when people say, hey, where did you get this free template from, for the all over, or hey, where did you get that cool Photoshop template from, or they may not know it's a template, they just think that you did it from scratch, and you can say, hey, I did the artwork based off of this template, and you give them the link to the template. Or if you're using True Colors ink and people are asking about ink, give them the link to the site and say, hey, try this True Colors ink, it is bomb. And when you do that and they make a purchase, you get 10% of the sale, not of the profit, but of the wholesale. Okay, and if you sign up for an affiliate link, you can order through your own link and you'll get a 10% kickback. Y'all hear me? Okay, so, and we tried that out the other day and it worked. And I'm not going to restrict that. I pretty much feel like if you are an affiliate, then you deserve a little discount too. All right. Well, it won't be a discount. It'll be in the form of a payout to you. Okay, and I do payouts every single week. So this week, usually by Sunday, I'll cut the check. Okay. Let's see. Any more questions? Oh, thanks, Deborah. She says, you are the best. Well, y'all are the best, and y'all keep me the best, so we in this together. All right, so Andrea, let me see. Let me tell her to get on live. She's just asked a good question. Andrea says, does she open the Photoshop file and print? Okay, so let me ask. Andrea, are you still on live? If so, say something for me. Live question mark. This is an excellent question, and we're going to be going over this in the class too. You're not going to be able to miss a step in the class because we're going to walk through everything together and make sure by the end of the night, and y'all already know I stay up with y'all to make sure that everybody has a final product. By the end of the night, you have an all over shirt, even if you've never pressed an all over shirt before. Okay. So I would like to answer her question live, but I want her to be on the live so she can see the answer. All right, so in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and answer some of these questions about the Academy. Okay, so you do understand a few things here, that we have a regular NA Lab site and then the Academy. So that's the Academy. This is where we learn and grow. All right, so for right now, the live interactive course, anytime I have a live class coming up, it's going to be right there. I tried to do like pre-planning for live classes, but the way my life is set up right now, it doesn't necessarily work like that. As a matter of fact, a lot of times in the middle of the week, you all will give me an idea of what you want to learn. So unlike other classes where the curriculum is set up 10 years ahead of time and you're going to learn the same thing on a Wednesday of week 5, no matter which semester you take, these classes I'm doing in real time. I am really preparing these classes in real time to tackle some of the concerns that you have, some of the things that you need to learn to do better business, to stand out amongst your competitors. That's what we're here for. So if you all tell me, like literally, what was it, Wednesday, y'all told me, yeah, let's do all over class. Yeah, I had to do a little prep work for the class, so we just got it uploaded yesterday. But trust and believe, when I say I want to do a class, we're going to do a class. And we're going to make sure that it is thorough so that when you come into the class, you can be calm and understand that you're going to conquer whatever we came there for. Don't worry about if it's a 100 level course. Then you are going to be able to do it whether you have Photoshop experience or not. Okay. All right, so cool. Andrea's here with me. Andrea, let me show you how to print these. And I said I was going to do that, and I totally forgot. So my bad, my love. We're going to make it right. All right, so I'm going to go to my folder where my tiles are, right? And let's say I'm going to print the Goofy shirt. I'm going to select all of the tiles. If they're out of order, then you can hold down Control and select each one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I have all of them selected. I hit enter and it's going to automatically open in Photoshop. Now, if your image files don't automatically open in Photoshop, then just go to File, Open on Photoshop, and tell it what files you want to open. All right, now, in this case, I'm going to go ahead and close out my magic template because I don't want it to cause me any problems. Printing these large files can sometimes cause issues, so we're going to make sure that we don't have those issues. Now, you have some pages that are standing up tall and then other pages that are, no, for the 2X, you have all tall pages. For the large one, you have only 4 tiles and 2 of them are straight up and down and 2 of them are landscape. So we'll learn that in class, how we're going to print those, what the settings are. But this is cool because all settings are the same. Let me show you a trick. I'm going to close all these down. Okay. And I know I'm printing the top right now. If you only have one file open on Photoshop and you set up your print settings, if you subsequently bring in and open new files, it's going to be able to propagate those print settings so you don't have to change them every time. So that is a little golden nugget. All right, so Andrea, follow along with me. Only open one of them right now. So I have the top right one open. When I go to File, Print, it should have my last print setting saved, and I don't want those print settings anymore. I want to be able to print to one of my 7710s, and I want to go to Print Settings. Now my print settings may look a little different from yours, but if you want to know what my exact print settings are, I have a whole video where it says calibrate your monitor, your printer, and your Photoshop. Okay, so when you find that video, if you follow those steps, you'll create your own true innate sublimation preset, even if you're not using True Ink, but I suggest you use True Ink to make sure that it works. All right, so we'll hit OK. And now I know this is a 13 by 19 page. I'm also going to make sure that my color handling is on Photoshop Manages Color. All right. And then the printer profile is set to Epson Inkjet Printer 07. The rendering intent I keep on relative colorimetric. And that's it. Okay. So this is everything that I need for it to do. I'm going to hit print. Okay. Now it's going to print this one page. Well, right now it's telling me my printer is offline. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure I delete that, because y'all know how it is when you send them offline printers and you finally turn the printer on and it's printing a million things from 10 years ago. So I'm going to make sure I cancel that. Well, let me not cancel it right now, because I'm going to show y'all what it looks like. Okay, so we're going to take a look at this in just a second. All right, so now when I go to open my other files, so if I go File, Open, I'm going to go ahead and open everything but, what was that? We have top right. So I'm going to hold down Control and let go of top right. Okay, so now I'm going to open the other 5 files. They're going to open up one at a time. And if I know what I'm talking about, which sometimes I think I know what I'm talking about, when I go to File, Print now, bim bell, and I lied. I don't know why. I think the last time that I saved a file, oh, that's what I was supposed to do. Duh. Let me hit cancel. I want to show y'all how you don't have to save these print settings every time, because it's annoying if you have to go into all 6 pages and change the printer and change the properties. Let me make sure that I save this. So Control S there, and then let me try to open. Oh, you know what? I opened them when I had the other printer saved as default, so it may have affected what printer it changes as default. So let's see now. Let's go to File, Open, or let's do this. I'm going to close it, open just the top right one, which is the one we just set up the settings for. Let me check and make sure it saved the settings. File, Print. Okay, so it saved my Epson 98. And all right. So that's done. Now let's see now if I open all the other ones except for the right. And if it's not going to do it, I'm just going to go ahead and show you the print settings. But I thought I was teaching y'all a little shortcut. No, it's still selecting my other printer. And I think it's because when I first opened these files up, it had the printer set as its default. So we're just going to change it. So 98. This is all you have to do for all of them. Same thing. 98 is my printer. I'm going to let Photoshop manage the colors. Now, I have my printer set up to where I don't ever have to check these print settings. If you notice, all of these settings do not change when I hit that, because I have this particular profile set as my default. And if you watch my video on calibrating your monitor, your printer, and your Photoshop, that will be the same. The same will be true for you. I do check it, because sometimes I worry that maybe I changed something. But if you do that one time, you'll never have to change your print settings again. And then I do have to sometimes make sure Photoshop is selected here. And once I do that, then I'll send this one to print. And what I want you to see is that although it's offline, I want y'all to see. Now, the way I was telling Grover to do it, you won't necessarily know whether you're printing the top or the bottom, the left or the right, etc. when you do the math like that, right? So it's extremely hard when you know those 7710s run out of ink dead in the middle of your print, almost every other print. And you have to figure out, dang, which tile was that so I can redo it. Now you have the name of it, the top middle, top right. So if this one messes up right here in the middle of a print, you know, dang, I got to reprint that top right. If you don't do it that way, I promise, and I'm going to go ahead and save these changes. Let's do the same thing. Let's print. And like I said, I'm going to cancel those so that they don't end up on my offline. Go to my 98. My Photoshop's managing my colors. Bam, that tile is ready to go. Okay. And if I go back to my print queue now, I'll see all three of my tops ready. It's going through that printer right now, right? When I'm done with it, I can close it out. And I say yes to save the changes because it will also save your printer changes. So now the next time I open that up, it's going to have the appropriate printer. Okay. Same thing. $98. Photoshop manages color, relative colorimetric. And I can go to my print queue, and now that bottom right is printing. Bottom right printing, I can close out, save those changes. Some people don't want to close out until it's done printing so you know you have it, but I just like to get stuff out of my face. And as long as I save the changes, I'm going to be fine. So file print. Want to make sure we choose a 98, Epson 7710. And see how now it changed to printer manages colors. I need to make sure it says Photoshop manages colors. Otherwise, I'll get a totally different color. And that's why it's important for you to look at that calibration video, because I talk about all those details and reasons. All right, so that's it. I think I have one more to change. And sometimes doing things with repetition is not bad because you're learning. So file, print. Make sure we choose the appropriate printer. Make sure Photoshop manages those colors. And print. All right, now I can close out of every last one of those. I can check my print queue, and I should have 6 tiles printing top, 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 bottom, bottom, bottom. You see that? All right, so that's it. Let's see. So Andrea, that should answer your question to how you can go ahead and print these out. Now tile them together. What you're going to have to do is there's going to be white all the way around each tile. You're going to have to trim the white off completely. Don't leave any little sliver of white whatsoever. Be very careful. You also don't want to cut off too much of the graphic because you have a very thin area that's going to overlap. If you have thick overlap areas, you're going to see it more. If you have thinner overlap areas, you're going to be able to see it less, okay? See the overlap less. All right, so Deborah says, if I have knowledge of GIMP, Photoshop shouldn't be hard. As a matter of fact, if you have knowledge of any graphic program, it's going to help you. It's basically going to be a booster to understanding Photoshop. Now, Photoshop has a lot of tools and capabilities, which makes it very intimidating. But that's why I tell you to watch these videos on the template edits. I even have, I think I have some free templates on there that you can play with and kind of, reverse engineer it. Watch the video from beginning to end and then learn how to turn off all of those effects, how to build those effects yourself, that sort of thing. The calibration video, I don't know if I can link it. Let's see if I can link it. But you know what? I like to show you all how to look for information. If it's one thing my daddy taught me, when I was little, coming up, and as I was bigger, coming up, his favorite thing, well, one of his favorite things to say to me is look it up. And I remember he used to do Encyclopedia Jeopardy. So if any of you all know what encyclopedia is, encyclopedia set is, my dad made sure that he splurged on that. That was one expense that he paid for several years to make sure that we had knowledge at our fingertips. Okay, so yeah, he would politely point to their encyclopedia set and say, look it up, even if it's something he knew. So to this day, I am an avid researcher. I believe that if there's anything that I want to know how to do that can be done, I can find out how to do it. And sometimes it's one of my problems. So we're going to look it up right now, okay? So if we search this page as if we were a viewer, and you're seeing some metrics and stuff here, you won't see these metrics. You'll see all this down here, right? And I'm going to type in the word calibrate, if I spelled it right. Okay, so True Colors, calibration monitor, default printer, Photoshop settings. Okay, that's what that's all about. You click on it. Now I can copy this link address and paste it to you, but I'm just letting you know how to find stuff. Okay. The print settings, premium paper. I don't use premium paper, but like I said, I don't know if you're using True Colors ink. If you're not, you can just say I'm using an other ink. You know, we don't have to promote anybody else's ink but True Colors, since your girl is the one here sitting for hours with y'all. But yeah, so if you're doing True Colors ink, then my settings, I don't use premium paper matte. I use the plain paper setting. I don't do RGB 2.2 at all. I do no color. And if you watch this video, I would highly suggest that you watch this video, even if it's just for the part on setting monitor, so that we can get more. Look at my little country self. I do not like hearing my voice. I don't know if y'all are like that too. So it takes you through the monitor calibration. Let's say you don't have time to do monitor calibration today. I highly suggest that you do it. This is showing you how to set up your printer so that you only have to set up your print settings one time, okay? So you need to watch this, because this is how I have my print setter set up, okay? This is a 30-minute video, so, you know, I want you to, if you get to right here, it's only 15 minutes. So if you're not going to do your monitor calibration, in 15 minutes you will understand how to set up your printer, your print settings, the default settings. I'll tell you all of my steps. What paper grade I select, my options for my color, profiling, all of that stuff. I even show you how to name it. So once you name it, it saves right there in your printing presets. And I'll show you how to select that as your default, so that no matter where you're printing from, it's going to have that Epson setting, print settings default set to what we just did in that video. And then I go through how to make sure that you're printing properly from Photoshop. So that answers all of your questions right there in this video. So go to about 15 minutes of this video and play it from the 15-minute mark, and it will walk you through how, for True Colors ink, I don't know about anybody else's ink, but if somebody says, oh, my ink does not require a print profile, you will be able to follow these exact steps and get the results that we get, okay? And if they tell you that it doesn't require print profiling, you do these exact steps and you have some real janky results, then I would question that a little bit, that it doesn't require color profile, okay? I've never printed from Silhouette. I tell people, if you don't buy Photoshop for anything other than printing from, get Photoshop. Just as a way to make sure that how your colors are on your screen is best represented, especially in sublimation, because you have so many variables with color. So you don't want to take chances. And I actually did some prints from Affinity. I did some prints from the Microsoft Paint, or whatever, I think it is called Microsoft Paint, that comes with your computer for free. I also printed from Photoshop, of course. I did several different versions of printing from Photoshop, including using the Premium Presentation matte paper. When I put it on Premium Presentation, it lays down too much ink, and for other people's ink, not necessarily for the True ink, but for other people's ink, it makes those blues purple. That's just what I understood to be true from that experiment. And yeah, so if you have Photoshop, if you follow these exact steps in this video, you will be A-okay. Even if you do design something in Silhouette, save it as a JPEG and print it from Photoshop. Even if, like I said, Teresa, if you don't do anything else with Photoshop besides print from it, like use it kind of like your color management software, I promise you, you will not be disappointed. it does a much better job at interpreting what colors are on the screen versus the output to your sublimation printer. Okay, so that's just my little 2 cents on that. Y'all have any other questions? Because we're getting a little deep into time on here. I know it's about 2 o'clock now. Oh, I was showing y'all the academy and the course for tomorrow. This is the one time only that I am allowing, if I ever do it on a Sunday, I can't say one time only, if I ever do an all over class on a Sunday, then what I do is I allow you all to use the $60 credit towards that all over class, because the all over courses are going to be $100 every single time, because there's a lot of work and I have to do a lot of prep for it. Okay, so this class, if you're a part of the $60 membership, you get to use your $60 credit towards this class. So you only have to pay $40 if you paid $60 for the entire month membership. All right, and this tells you what we need for the class. So make sure your computer has Photoshop ready to go, that you have a 13-inch sublimation printer. If your printer only prints 8.5 by 14, then that will be a different situation. I don't want you to come into the class and not be able to participate because you don't have a 13-inch printer. You're going to need 13 by 19 sublimation paper. Some of you have roll media. That will be an advanced class when we talk about substituting the roll media and how we change those settings, okay? Scissors is going to be required as a basic, but if you have a cutting mat, an X-Acto knife with a ruler, you can use that as an optional set of tools you can bring to the table. You need a blank white polyester shirt that is an adult small, medium, or large. Don't come with no extra larges. Don't come with 2X's. Don't come with a extra small bodysuit that you thought that would be cool to do in this class. Keep it simple, sublimators. Okay, my dad used to say this to me all the time. Keep it simple, Shannon. Learned it in the Army. I think the acronym was for keep it simple, stupid. Okay, but we know we're not stupid, so I'm gonna adapt that. He would say keep it simple, Shannon, and it just happened to work for me because I love to overcomplicate things. All right, so we're gonna keep it simple. Small, medium, or large polyester t-shirt, preferably a men's cut, because the ladies' cut sometimes can cut off the image because it has a slender midsection or tapered midsection, and we just want to make sure we can straight up work on technique. Okay, we perfect technique, then you can go off on your own and start modifying it to your heart's content. Okay, next thing, the hardboard. Some of you already have this hardboard. My suggested size is 44 by 36. I actually have a 48 by 36, and I wish I had told them to cut that extra little 4 inches off because it gets in my way. So I may have time to trim mine down before tomorrow. But if not, then you'll know why I told you to get a 44 by 36. The rest of it that's left, go ahead and get them to cut that down to 44 by 50. So that's the size that you're going to need if you're going to do the 4X and 5X all overs. So keep that board, just keep it to the side. It's so bulky, you don't want to use it for all shirts. You just want to use it for your 4X and 5X shirts. Okay. I tell you the board for Home Depot and Lowe's. If you look up your local Lowe's, it'll tell you exactly what aisle, or Home Depot, it'll tell you exactly what aisle that's in. You're going to need heat tape. I do suggest spray adhesive, but the way that we do it, we're going to do it even if you don't have spray adhesive, so you understand the technique and you understand why you may want to have spray adhesive. You're going to want some masking tape or painter's tape. You don't have to go out and get fancy painter's tape. You can deal with masking tape, but just make sure that it is truly masking tape and not some super heavy, super sticky Gorilla tape type of stuff, because we're actually going to use this masking tape on the face of the print. So you don't want anything that's too tacky and it's going to peel the ink up and peel and tear your paper up when we put the tape on the surface of the print. All right. Also, I request that you have a 36-inch roll butcher paper, because when we do this, the more we overlap layers, the more intense it's going to be to try to get that evenness when it comes to the pressure of your press. So I don't suggest doing layers of stuff, and we're already going to be tiling this and it has a little bit of a layer. We don't need all these extra layers. So if you can get 36-inch roll paper, if you decide to substitute something else, I think someone else asked me if they have 18-inch roll paper, can they use it? Absolutely. People do overlap and use 2 pieces of paper at the bottom. I'm just trying to tell you how to best keep it simple. So I'm going to tell you this, I won't answer any questions regarding issues that you have if it's not done with the materials that I asked you to have, because you're joining the class saying that yes, I agree that I will have this homework done, that I will have these materials. So if we have an issue, oh well, what happens if my 18 by 18-inch overlap paper causes an issue, or if I can't get it right, then I'm going to have to bypass that because everybody else probably has a 36-inch paper and we won't be able to spend time on that, okay? So I'm telling you to pre-cut them. Have them ready, pre-cut, because we won't have time to cut these sheets in class. It's going to be a long class. All right, so pre-cut 3 sheets to 36 by 44, and I will tell you what to do with those. Okay? All right. I do recommend having dual monitors or at least 2 different devices. You can take up 2 Zoom seats, but make sure that if you have dual camera set up, that at least something dual screen set up, that at least one of those devices has a camera. You can even use your camera phone on this part of the session, because once we start pressing, we're going to step away from the computer. And most of you, your computer may not be in the same room where the heat press is. So if you want to show me what you're pressing or show me what you're laying out, I need you to be able to take the camera over to what you're doing, show me what it is as if I'm looking at it, and I can say, oh, okay, this is what's happening. The 36-inch roll butcher paper is, you can find it in Costco. Matter of fact, I think I say it. Do I say it on here? Oh, yeah. Costco, Sam's Club. I think even Walmart has 36-inch butcher paper now. It's going to just save you time and allow you to just push through rather than, because what happens, and I've layered, I actually layer parchment paper when I need to use parchment paper because I can't find 36-inch parchment paper. So I've layered the paper before, and what happens is one thing moves and this little sheet underneath it shifts, and now I done dyed something down through the back of my shirt onto my platen, and it's going to transfer every time. It's just, we want to keep with the basics because we're already going to run into issues. We know this. This is our first time doing it for a lot of us. So if you minimize the variables, you minimize the risk of running into new problems. So if you can, now, like I said, you can substitute anything. If you don't have scissors and you want to use a knife, that's fine. You're just coming into it saying that, hey, I'm going to use a knife instead of scissors. So if I have any issues about how to use a knife, cutting my stuff, then I'm not going to answer those questions because I didn't tell you to come with a knife. That sort of thing. And I'm not saying that at all to to make you feel any type of way. This is just, when it comes to teaching, it's easiest for everybody to be on the same page. Okay? But yeah, check and see if you can get it. If you cannot get it, I will understand. I'm telling you, I'll understand. But we just won't roll with that if the questions pop up about it, okay? All right, so let's see. I talked to y'all about the dual screens. You can use second device. I used to require dual screens. Now it's optional, and you can take up an additional Zoom seat without having to pay for an additional Zoom seat. All right. Files to download prior to class. Make sure you download the Zoom link with the homework checklist. You're going to need that. Make sure you download the, I did a pre-made image, and or I did a True Colors test image. So you're going to download that. And you're also going to make sure that you have your pre-made image. Unless you just want to print the True Colors image, that's fine. But I'm giving you an option to have your own artwork ready so that when we print this, you can put this up in your shop. You can put this on your Facebook, Instagram, Twitter pages, and be ready to advertise, because it's going to be something that either is your brand or something that you're doing for a customer that they want done. Okay, so by the end of this session, you should have something that you can sell. That's the objective every single time. I don't want you to just, if I say put an apple in a design on a t-shirt and nobody wants an apple in a design on a t-shirt, I don't want you just to use my image that I give you. I want you to take this opportunity to make something that you will remember because it's something that you wanted to do. Okay. Make sure Photoshop's installed. Make sure you can successfully open the template. and then make sure that Zoom is installed as well. All right, that's it. And here's the thing about this course too that I'm letting you all in on. I'm going to sell these templates, these auto tile templates. Okay. Each size variation is going to be $20 a pop. So what happens when you enroll in this course is every time I come up with a different class or a different template, I'm going to add it to this class. So you will get those additions for free. Now you don't get to do the live class again for free, but you will get a recording of the next live classes we do. We're going to do a series. I think it's going to be about 3 to 4 classes that we're going to do in the series. So once we deal with the original and you all show me your issues, show me what you really want to learn to do, then we'll move on. Second series will be advanced, and I'll show you, okay, well, this is how we deal with the press lines issues. You need to buy this extra material, or you need to buy this particular foam, or whatever it is that I'm telling you, because it costs more to do those steps. So I don't ever want to assume that everybody's coming ready to spend a bunch of money on things that they don't know how it works yet. So once we're past level 1 and we go on to level 2, there will be some additional materials needed. So you have to do number 1 before you can join number 2. Okay, so like I said, it's going to be 3 to 4 courses in this series, and then one of the courses in the series is how to do something besides t-shirts. So if you want to all over print shorts or something else of that nature, we're going to go over some of those difficult things to press. That is not so easy, and already doing the t-shirts is hard. So I want you all to tell me what else you want to learn how to do all over printing with. Yes, Teresa, if you can't do the class, now the thing about it is the rerun of the class will be available. It's going to be the same price as the live, but it will be available. You can purchase the course, and then you would get all of the updates that the people who took the course are getting the updates. If you just only want to purchase the auto tile template, it will be available on the 10-minute templates here. And each size is going to be $20. So I have one right now that's small through large, and it takes up only 4 tiles. If you can see here, this one only takes 4 tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 sheets of paper. The extra large and 2X takes up 6 sheets of paper. So that's going to be a different file. And then I'll have one for youth, for toddler and infant. And then I will have one for, what else is there? The 4X, 5X. So right now, the 2 most important is going to be the 2X, the small all the way up to the 2X. And those I have almost ready right now, and I will post them on the N8 Lab site. So just like any other Photoshop file, it's going to be $20. So if you can imagine right now, that's $40 right there in templates, just for those 2 size templates. When you can go ahead and take the class, you know, if you choose to, it would be $100, and you're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to get 4 templates, because you'll get the youth size template, the, what else? Youth size, adult, small to large, adult, extra large to 2X, and then there's one for 4X, 5X. So that's going to be 4 templates that you'll get, and you'll have the videos of the recorded sessions that we do within the series. So that's a decision that you may want to consider if you plan on needing access to that. And I will make a video, a very short video on how to use those tiles. But you won't get the information about, you know, how we went through step by step and pressed it and lined it up and all that good stuff. All it's going to be doing is showing you how to tile. Okay, and that's only because I need to make it fair to the people who are ordering and participating in the courses, because they want exclusive content, and I have to be fair and make sure that that they get to maintain a little bit of exclusivity, a little VIP treatment, because they're part of the academy. Okay, so good question. So Teresa, look out by tonight. I probably will. And some people are just eager and they don't want to wait for the class, or they might not be able to do the class. They want to go ahead and get the template. I've had a lot of people come at me about the template right now, so I will make that available for you all ASAP, Rocky. All right. Any other questions, loves? I think we've had a good little session. If you want to watch this playback, I know it's going to take about 24 hours for this to load back up on YouTube. Make sure that you copy the address that's in the URL address right now, the link, because I think it won't allow you to watch the video again unless you have the link until YouTube automatically uploads it. So if that's the case, let's go back to my channel. And you can right click on this right now and I can copy the link address and I will put it on Photoshop. I'm not Photoshop. Lord, I'm tired. I need a break. I'm gonna put it in the NA Creatives. So if you missed it, I'm creating this post for you all now. If you missed it, here is the replay of the live demonstration. Demonstration. I told y'all my spelling brain does not work when my art brain is turned on. Here's the replay of the live demonstration. There we go. So we did 4 sheets. Let's do 4 sheets. It's a small to large. And then we did 6 sheets. Because I know y'all like to know how many sheets it takes to. 6 sheets, we did extra large, 2x. And this was... Y'all keep skipping over the fact that y'all haven't told me what we should name this thing yet. So all over automatic tile magic template. I keep saying magic because I think y'all like words like magic. Makes it seem like I worked something out for you. All right, so there we go. Here's the replay. Y'all will be able to go to that post. Like I said, YouTube may not have it up and running right now. As a matter of fact, as soon as we come off of this live, this link will go away and you won't be able to see it until they process the video, okay? So I'm trying to give y'all that, that link that you can go back to and watch this if you need to. Any other questions? I think I'm not seeing any new questions. I don't know if we all just getting brain fog and tired at this point, but I'm going to take a little minor break and I'm going to make sure that I clean these files up, get them ready to post on the Innate Lab website. And then that way, whether you do the classes or not, you still have the ability to purchase the templates. And I will record a brief video of how those templates work. So you'll have like a little 15-20 minute video that shows you exactly what to do with these templates. Okay. All right, y'all, make sure y'all check out True Colors Ink. And we have some blanks that are going to be coming up soon. Oh yeah, I said I was going to do a flash sale for you all for the ink. So I need to enact a flash sale. It'll be random and it'll be a short window, like maybe a 12-hour window, that we will have the inks and the cartridges and the substrates on sale. So make sure you're in the Innate Creatives Facebook group. If you're not in the group, you won't know when the sale is coming on. And make sure that you are, paying attention to the content and seeing when those specials, those flash sales. If you go to, I think I have flash sales here. Flash sale. We just did one, almost 2 weeks ago. So be looking out for a new flash sale. I said I'm giving y'all plenty of notice. Matter of fact, let me do this. I'm gonna make y'all know right now. Next flash sale is gonna be, what did I tell y'all, the 10th? Because we said we don't want to do it on the 3rd. So it's gonna be 10/10. And I'll just give y'all a heads up. All right. I don't know. These GIFs sometimes just really make it hard. Okay, well maybe notice isn't the right word to put in. Sorry, y'all. That one just got me for real. So, anyways, I'm gonna post that. Oh, okay. Let me get out of here because I'm doing this goofy laugh because I'm tired. Deborah says the template you want us to give you a name for. You know what? Put it on that post that I just did. If you comment, because right now nobody can actually make a post. You have to comment on an existing post. I did that on purpose, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not gonna act like I'm hiding that. It just was too much. And your girl, I can't deal with a lot of randomness. I don't even answer the messages in my DMs because it's just too much, too overwhelming. So we got to keep it simple. So I have a couple of brain cells left for y'all. Go ahead and comment under here. What do you think we should name it? If I use your name, then you'll get the template for free. Okay? And only you all will even know that because I won't be announcing that. When you say peach butcher paper, is it like a brown butcher paper? Because if so, then yeah, that will work. Some people use the brown butcher paper. Now, when you say peach, if it's like dyed the color peach, like maybe it's meant for like weddings or something like that, I don't know. But if it's that craft paper, sometimes they call it craft paper. Sometimes they don't call it butcher paper. Let's do some research together. Let me help you look it up. What store are you looking for, LaQuisha? What are you looking at? Like Walmart, dollar store, unbleached and uncoated. Yep, that's what I'm talking about. That's usually like the natural color of the paper, and that will work out just fine. It looks a little something like that, craft paper. That'll work. So yes, love, that's it. Um, all right. So I think that's it. I'm probably going to take a little bit of a break. If I come back tonight, it'll be because I'm doing some more random work and I'm willing to let you all, chime in and ask questions and stuff. But I have some affinity conversions that I need to do. I probably will do those live just so you can see what it takes to edit the affinities files. And it also helps me to show you how you can take a Photoshop template and convert it to Affinity and why I charge for that. Because it doesn't just magically open in an Affinity photo. So that's why I suggest that you learn Photoshop, get really good with Photoshop, and then convert. That way you can convert your own files. And it saves you a little bit of money in the long run. And also it teaches you good principles about affinity. You learn more when you actually kind of have to engineer the templates. So anyhow, I probably will be doing that tomorrow. If not tomorrow, it'll have to be Monday because this class is probably going to eat up a good little deal of some energy tomorrow, okay? But I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually really excited to work with y'all on this feat. We're going to get it together. All right. All right, love. I see Gwendolyn saying lightning splash. All right. Well, make sure y'all put those names under that post in the NA Creatives group. Put that name under the post for me. And I think I don't even know how to get back to the. That's what I'm telling y'all. This stuff is so. I don't know. Okay, home. That makes sense. No, that's my home. I need to get to. Well, y'all understand. NA Creatives. There we go. So make sure you comment under. Where's the post we just made? And this is why I used to get so frustrated. I'd be scrolling for days and I can't find something that I just posted. Where is the link I just posted? Oh yeah, I still have to put that template up. Y'all, I have templates for days that I just need to upload for y'all. My apologies. So that would have been, where is the post that I just made? Oh, Facebook. You add to my mental anguish every day. So let me type in the word magic. That's what I'm saying. If I put in the word magic, now I can find it. So magic probably gonna have to be up in there. But anyways, go to this post, search for the word magic. If you can't find it, like I couldn't just find it. Okay, Gwendolyn, you put it on there. Cool. All right, good deal. So you found it before I could, Gwendolyn. So I'm telling you, y'all are resourceful. Y'all teach me things all the time. Okay, love. So I'm gonna head out. Hey, Rhoda, I just realized you were here. Did you see the link? I don't know why people are not getting the live notifications even when they have the bell selected to all. So let's not imagine that it's Facebook sabotage or anything. Like they just don't want us to be great. But yeah, we'll have to figure out some way of notifying everyone when we're going live because this is your opportunity to kind of not just see what I'm telling you or teaching you, but also so that you can connect and ask questions live. I get an understanding of what your true concerns are, especially if I'm doing something on the fly, and it helps the both of us, okay? All right, love. So 2 minutes. 2 minutes more. Any questions? Anything else? Because we've been on the line for 2 hours and 34 minutes. So I'm gonna give you a couple more minutes to see if I have any more questions coming in. And otherwise, we will reconvene tomorrow for class. Class starts at 7, so make sure your Zoom and all that stuff works. I say 2 hours ahead of time. Make sure you can check everything off your homework list. And then 15 minutes ahead of time, make sure your Zoom works. Because you know technology likes to let us down when we're most excited. So make sure your Zoom works. If you have any issues, come into the oh, you know what I'm saying for the template. Okay. So although I have lightning in here, it's not just for the lightning template. The name that I'm looking for is for basically just being able to tile images without any external program. So if this t-shirt was blank right now, which I consider the t-shirt's blank, as a matter of fact, let's say t-shirt looks like this. Let me go here. Let's say t-shirt looks like that. What would you call that? Okay, so we're going to go from this to it prints out. I guess I should have also shown you what it looks like when you do all the pieces. One, you know what? Photoshop won't let me select more than one. So then, see, y'all are helping me because I need to know how to also show you all what this does. So let me go back to, let me do something. Done with Andrea's, we can go to my little mock-up here. So I think what you all need to see is that these are separate pages. I love y'all for real. Even when y'all don't know y'all helping me, y'all are helping me. Even through your confusion that I caused, you all are helping me. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn that off, right? And then I'm going to bring in the 4 tiles because I think that is what explains what's really going on here. Let's bring those in here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we'll shrink them down, Control T. So now y'all just watching me work live. This is all the randomness that I have to deal with. Whenever I post a product or a class, you know, one thing that irks a creative, when you can't just be creative, when you have to do like the, you know, the grunt work and the administrative stuff that goes with it, and it just makes you want to take a nap because you don't want to do that stuff. Or is that just me? Please don't tell me that's just me. Because when I tell you, I get the wanting to nap when I feel like it's something that starts overwhelming me or asking something to me that I don't want to do. I just want to be great. Can we just be great? But no, because the same thing I'm telling you is going to take whatever you put in is what you're going to get out. So sometimes in order to be great, we got to do stuff we don't want to do. All right, so I'm going to group those and let's put a little drop shadow on them. So you know, does this make more sense now that these are tiles? That these are individual tiles, by the way? Rona, yep. So now, okay, so this is, I'm glad. You know what? We are definitely. So now, whoever comes up with the best name here. So Rona, if you're here, I just created a challenge for the folks on this live right now. So whoever helps me come up with the best name for this type of auto tile template situation. And I think you may have seen it yesterday, Rona, where I showed you how you just change a smart object and it's automatically going to create the tiles for you. So the words that we're dealing with, let's brainstorm. Man, I love y'all for real. Let's brainstorm right now. Let me go to this. Let's brainstorm some words. We have magic. The reason why I said magic is because if I look up the word magic, it's going to come up. These are tiles. And the other thing is when I started saying, hey, we're going to tile the 13 by 19s, some people did not understand what tiling was. So is there a better word that I can use? Slicing, splicing, slicer, magic slicer. I don't know, but I need y'all's help. So slicing, slicer. What else is this? 13 by 19 sheets. That's going to be, as a matter of fact, let me put some commas in here so y'all know that this is not my name of it yet. Slicing, slicer, 13 by 19 sheets. And of course, we got to put all over in there somewhere. All over. So I'm not going to make y'all give away the words because I don't want you to give it away here. I want you to put it on this listing so that if I choose that exact name, so it's going to be the full thing. So make sure it's something that's catchy, but also is very descriptive. And you know, I like to have long titles for stuff. And I do that because when somebody Googles something, think of this. When somebody Googles slicing a shirt or tiling an all over shirt, I want them to come across this template, this YouTube video, etc. So I need y'all's help. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put that on there so y'all have some keywords to go by. And I can't wait to see what you come up with. All right, so my 2 minutes is up. I'm gonna stop holding y'all hostage, and I appreciate y'all dearly. I hope to check in with you all later, well, probably not later today, I'm tired, probably tomorrow morning, but if I don't see you tomorrow morning or afternoon, then I will definitely see you in the class at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, ready to go. And if you have any questions before then, make sure that with those questions, put it on this live post. This one or even the other live posts. As long as we were talking about this, if you put your questions about this under this, then we understand that those questions are about this template. And then you will start to understand why I started restricting posts, because it's easier for Erica and I to respond to questions under one post than to get a million different questions on different posts about unrelated topics, okay? All right, love. So y'all already know what's up. I love y'all for real. And until next time, I want to say bye.